wherever you want to be.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Yafcast series. Today we're going to be talking about climate resilient livelihoods, financing youth in agriculture and natural resource management. I am your host, Ake Brittany, a climate change advocate, and across me is my colleague, Praise Birka, an agricultural tech. So today we have with us a very special personality. He's not only special, but he's a brain behind climate things. He is passionate for climate things. He is passionate for marginalized communities. And not only that, he is the founder of the Corn House. Isn't that amazing? So today we have with us Mr. Birka Rodrigue. And I'm not going to say everything on his behalf. I'm going to give him the opportunity to say who he is. Welcome, Mr. Rodrigue, and thank you very much for honoring our invitation. How are you doing today?
Very much fine, thank you.
So how can you talk about like the climate of Yaoundé? What can you say about it?
Well, I think it's pretty warm. I'm just coming from Bamenda and it's pretty cold. So moving to Yaoundé is practically a change of climate. It's quite dusty and hot around here.
So I see you as a kind of quiet person. Are you an observer or a talkative? I don't see you as a talking kind of person. I think you mostly just observe and watch how things go. What can you say about that?
I can see you are kind of right about that. When I move into a place, I'm kind of quiet. I observe. Okay. When I'm very familiar with the people there, and I begin to be outspoken per se.
Okay. So you are the founder of Corn House.
You got that right.
Yes. So many are watching us right now. So can you tell us, the youth, this is a youth something.
Okay.
Can you tell us, the youth, how you started? What's the story behind the Corn House? What brought up that idea? What pushed you? What prompted you to no, I want to do this project. Let me go into it. Let me help these people. What was the problem before you brought in that idea?
All right, I think that's going to be a very interesting story.
Yeah, well, you can just make it brief since...
Okay. So the whole idea about Corn House, the concept started from Algeria.
Okay.
Yeah, so I studied at the Birka University of Water and Energy Sciences, including climate change.
Yeah, always, right?
Yeah, always. So
yeah.
Good. So we formed the team of 5. And we went in for the Geneva Challenge. I don't know if you know about the Geneva Challenge in Switzerland.
Okay.
That was in 2022. And that year's theme was bringing up solutions to poverty challenges. So when we came together, we were a team of 5. Had teammates from Nigeria, Zambia, and Ghana. That is how the concept of Corn House came about. Okay. And then the name wasn't Corn House. So we were just developing a concept to go in for a competition.
Oh,
yes.
I see.
So we went in for the competition and we won the first prize.
Congratulations.
Wow. Thank you very much.
Was it the prize?
No. The Geneva Challenge, in Switzerland.
Okay.
Yes. So when we won the award, what we went in for was just to present the concept and win an award. We weren't ready to start anything. So when we came back, we just dispersed. So after my studies there in Algeria and I came back to Cameroon, I asked myself, what next? I tried looking for 1 or 2 jobs. I got some, I left. And I thought to myself, we developed a very beautiful concept about maize farming in Cameroon, maize farming and storage. Why am I busy moving around looking for jobs when we have a concept that has been recognized and awarded internationally? Why don't I work on that? So I went back to the idea, I started building up. And then I thought of where I could get funding. And that is when I built up the concept note and I applied for D Prize.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, so when I applied for D Prize, I was shortlisted, selected, went for the interview, and I won the award.
Awards upon awards. Congratulations again, the second time.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Now, so what is Corn House all about? I grew up in Dop, and that's a community where we are involved in a lot of farming. We farm, you know about Dop rice?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, we farm maize a lot too. So growing up in a rural farming household, we cultivated a lot of maize. And one challenge which I noted that we really face is the problem of storage. If you know, we call it in pidgin banda.
Yes,
The banda. So that is where after harvest, that is where we store our maize.
Yeah.
And weevils attack the maize there a lot. That system of storage leaves the maize vulnerable to attacks from pests. And from my research, with that system of storage, rural farmers lose about 40% of their maize harvest every year. That's a huge problem. And that was the problem Corn House came to address.
Okay.
Yes, that's exactly how Corn House came about. I hope I answered the question
Of
well.
course you did. Of course you did. Corn House is, I'm going to still congratulate for that because that's a very brilliant concept. Many people have been there that have not really had the idea. But if you had that idea, that means you are indeed a brain, as I said, and you're passionate for what you do. And then I would like to ask again, was that the only problem you saw? Like, why only agriculture? Couldn't you engage into water resources or any other? Is it only agriculture?
Okay. Beautiful question, I must say.
Yeah.
Now, I'm someone that is very passionate about agriculture, and I have a Master of Science in Water Policy.
Yes.
So when you ask that question,
Yeah,
I see where it's coming
yes,
from.
I know.
Now, when I look at agriculture, I think it embodies everything. When you talk about forestry, you talk about water, all of that is in agriculture. It's like the center, it's like the hub. So when you are into agriculture, you tend to touch on all those things. For example, while studying at the master's level, my research was investigating the impact of rainwater harvesting on crop yields.
Yeah.
So as someone who was studying water, I found the nexus. So my research was on rainwater harvesting, but its impact on agriculture.
Okay.
So when I'm in agriculture, I diversify into all those other areas.
Okay. So coming to agriculture, I'm going to ask you this very important question. We all know that climate change is no longer something new.
Yes.
And it affects the marginalized communities. Why? Because we don't have a voice. Because people don't really know what they are going through. However, they're the highest people going through it. They're the highest people being affected. So what can you say about the impacts of climate on reshaping agricultural livelihoods for the young Africans, for the youths like us? What can you say about that?
Okay. Yeah, like you have said, climate change is a reality of
Yes,
today.
it's a reality.
And it indeed has a very huge impact on agricultural livelihoods. And talking about youths in particular, I think in Africa there is this perception that agriculture is a poor man's thing.
Yes.
Agriculture it's a rural activity, and youths tend to shy away from it. They tend to move to urban areas and look for white collar jobs.
Even aside the rural activities, a lot of strength there. It's a lot of strength. You need energy
Especially in
to
this
go
context of
to go to the farm. You need energy. You don't just sit like that and expect crops to grow, right? You have to till the soil, you have to water, you have to plant. It's not easy, so you're not really going to say that youth just shy away. They don't shy away just because they shy away from the work that is there.
From the stress that comes with it.
From the stress you get. So
Okay, so that's you're just confirming the mentality I'm talking about.
yes, we are youth.
A lot of youths have, and that is where they are missing it, because there is nothing that is stress-free, because as long as there is much stress in it, that is where the money lies, and that is what we are missing as youths.
Oh really?
Of course,
There's money there.
that is where Africa is very rich in, and we are still to maximize that
So
potential.
I just got the saying that the next billionaires in Africa will come from agriculture.
I think they are already there.
So you're a billionaire. We are talking to billionaire.
So
Okay, going back to how the climate
Yeah, climate
impacts
impacts, yes.
are reshaping agricultural livelihoods, like I said. Now, with agriculture, you have already cited factors like stress.
Yes.
There are already a lot of challenges that rural farmers face. We talk about attacks from pests like weevils, and even at the level of the farms. And then post-harvest challenges like storage and even farm-to-market roads. So all those put together really make agriculture scary to youth especially. Now, I'm talking about the climate reality that brings another layer of the problems already in the agricultural sector. The climate change, we now have problems like floods, droughts, and climate variability, which alters rainfall patterns.
Okay.
And that distorts a lot of productivity for rural farmers. That makes agriculture even more scary for the youth, and they are running away from it. And that's a reality that is very, very bad, especially for youths who want to get into agriculture. But I must say, on the other hand, that it's not all bad, because with this new reality, we have young innovators that are coming up to address the new climate reality. We have green innovations that are coming up. We have youths that have taken the bull by the horn to address these problems. So as the climate impacts are coming and making the sector more scary, we have youths that have stood up to face the climate reality, and they are developing wonderful solutions to address this climate reality.
Yeah, you're right.
So are there some strategies that you have already in your community? Are there some strategies? Are there some youths who have actually led some initiatives in this line that you are trying to present? Have you met some youths? Do you have an example or two within your community that have actually put their hand on this?
Very much.
This idea, yeah.
Let me talk about AgriFresh. That's a very new innovation brought by a young guy called Afopezi Moses.
Okay.
And what's his innovation all about? He brought up a solar smart storage technology to help rural farmers, especially those who cultivate vegetables, preserve their harvest in order to get time to look for very attractive market. Like I mentioned earlier, post-harvest losses is a huge challenge farmers face.
Exactly.
After harvest, they tend to lose about 40% just because they don't have adequate storage methods. And when you look at the farming of vegetables, it's something very perishable.
Yes.
After harvest, the first day, the second day, if they have not been able to get a market, it's a total loss. So that is an innovation that this young guy brought. He developed a smart cold storage system powered by solar energy. So that's a completely climate smart innovation which he has brought into the community, and it's currently helping rural farmers who farm vegetables. So these are the kind of youths I'm talking about, who in the face of these climate realities are coming up with bold solutions that are really beating the game. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Before we got into all this, and when I was asking you concerning the corn house, you spoke about funding and you spoke about writing a proposal to get funding. Of course, you cannot do a project without funds. How are you going to put it on ground? It's not possible. So that means I'm indirect trying to say you actually know already the meaning of finance. We are already facing the consequences of climate change.
Yes.
And now what we have to do is to adapt to it.
Yes.
So I'm sure you already know what it means, like adapting, what it means to like adaptation finance.
Oh yes.
Yes. So I want to know the role that adaptation finance can play in building climate smart farming systems. So like this, your friend, you see, he brought up a system for preservation of perishable products. So I want to know the role of adaptation finance in bringing up this.
Okay. Now, adaptation finance has a very, very critical role to play when it comes to building up climate smart farming systems. Going back to the example I just talked about, Moses' innovation, now he has developed this idea and he's implementing it in a particular community. But something needs to happen.
Yes.
That idea needs to scale. It needs to go all over Cameroon.
It needs money.
And even Africa at large. But how does that happen? It needs finance. They say finance without innovation without finance. Rather, it's like planting the seed in a dry farm without water. It's not going to grow. So adaptation finance is very crucial in ensuring that we are having that adaptation that we need in the face of this climate reality in order to scale such green innovations to enable wide-scale impact. And to another extent, adaptation finance is very critical when it comes to capacity building. When we look at rural farmers, let me give you an example. I carried out a research study in the Far North region of Cameroon. That's the most climate vulnerable region in Cameroon. So I visited this rural area and I was trying to investigate if these people understand what climate change is all about, what is happening, and how they are adapting. I was shocked to find out that they are blissfully unaware of what climate change is all about. Yeah, and I talked to this woman and she told me she believes that what is happening, that the rains are not coming, a long prolonged drought, are a form of punishment for the sins they have committed.
You know, when you're talking about this, actually, there was a time I was like, the way this land is, I didn't know curse because rain hardly falls there. I don't understand how they survive. I'm not even sure there's any farming system there because, like, how will you farm on a dry land? So you're even talking about this like kind of punishment. I'm just like in line that maybe my idea was not far. I was not far from the truth.
Not far from how
Maybe actually
when it rains, it's just a flood.
They're actually cursed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the belief they have. They don't understand what is going on. And with that belief, they cannot even begin to adapt because the belief is natural. When all of that happens, they just fold their arms and wait. And when the rains come and they come moderately, they say, thank God. God has forgiven us for our sins. And so that is the reality on ground. But when we have adaptation finance, it permits us to go into these very rural areas and build capacity. Take, for example, climate smart farming systems like greenhouses. If you go to rural areas and talk about greenhouses, they will look at you like, what is this man talking about?
Yeah.
But those are the systems that have proven to be sustainable and resilient. With adaptation finance, we can go into these rural communities and train these people on how to implement such climate smart farming systems. And that is going to build a lot of adaptation and resilience for these vulnerable communities.
So, Mr. Birka, now when looking at these challenges, when looking at writing or putting up the projects and writing them down to have the funding, the finance that comes to aid the communities to adapt to the climate impacts they have on their farms. What have you like actually seen on ground from your community? Like, what is the challenge, the critical challenge that maybe, for instance, you experience in like putting up this project for it to be funded?
Okay, I think to a particular extent, the main challenge is access to these finance opportunities.
To the structures that can actually...
Most of the times, youths who are out there doing marvelous works do not even know about these funding opportunities to even access them. Take, for example, I have traveled a lot and I've learned about these opportunities, these international funding opportunities.
Yeah.
But take, for example, someone who is based in Dub and has developed something smart and is working on it in their farm, but doesn't know about any funding opportunity to which he can leverage and scale what he's doing. I think that is the main challenge when it comes to accessing these funding opportunities. And to another extent as well, these people in rural areas do not have the capacity to, for example, develop projects, write projects and apply for funding. So, but these are the people facing the reality, and we cannot keep them out because of their inabilities. So what I believe we can do, it's streamline these funding mechanisms to reach those people in that areas. We don't expect them to go out and look for funding opportunities to help address the problems in the areas. Rather, we have to see how funding opportunities can come to those rural areas and meet the people.
Okay, now let me ask this question now to you directly.
Yes.
Now that you are someone who have actually gone out, you have actually like met those who do the funding, know how to actually prepare these projects and put them in writing and everything. Have you actually at some point accompanied one or two persons who are not really like visible,
and you know that
the project is actually climate in this line of climate based, and it can really do well in the adaptation milieu for...
Oh, are you still looking forward to
you are still thinking of, have you guided at least one or two young farmers to take over?
I think that will bring me to Corn House, because you might be amazed to know what we are doing at Corn House.
Okay.
Now, when I said we discovered the problem of maize post-harvest losses, the solution we brought about is not only a solution to address maize storage. Let me tell you what we're doing at Corn House.
Yeah.
Now, when farmers harvest their maize, we are bringing in a storage technology which is called pit bags to improve crop storage. So this is a kind of bag that is a chemical-free, a 3-layered plastic bag. When farmers store their maize in these bags, it prevents them from weevils and can store for up to a year. Wow. So now, when we distribute these bags to farmers, they store their maize in those bags. Now, that which they will consume at home, they keep at their homes. Now, as Corn House, we operate a warehouse. So we invite farmers to bring the maize which they want to sell and store in our warehouse for free.
Yeah.
So when the farmers bring this maize to our warehouse, we generate warehouse receipts and give these farmers, showing the value of the maize they have stored with us. Now, these receipts serve as collateral. We expect our farmers now to take these receipts and get loans from microfinance institutions, which they can use to carry out their activities at different levels. So this is our model to bring finance to rural farmers. It's very easy. It's a model that has worked in various countries.
Okay.
And we are just leveraging already existing infrastructures to bring finance to farmers. When farmers store their maize within our warehouse, that serves as collateral already, and they can get loans that will enable them invest in their farms and even increase their outputs. So that's how we are bringing finance to rural farmers.
Okay, Mr. Rodrigue, this is a very, very, very interesting point. I mean, that means Corn House is really doing a lot. Like, it's really doing a lot. What
Very
you're doing,
much.
the effort you're putting in, I believe it's being seen. And I believe the people you are assisting through Corn House are actually grateful for the work you are doing.
Very much.
So, thank you guys, and we're going to be back in a very, very short while. And we have a surprise for you at the end of this video. So stay with us and wait till the end of this video to get your surprise. Thank you very much.
What are PICS bags? PICS stands for Purdue Improved Crop Storage, an innovation by Purdue University in the US to mainly address the problem of grain post-harvest losses. These bags have 3 layers, they are chemical-free, and the storage technology is airtight, thus preventing contamination from pests like weevils. These bags can store grains for up to a year, and the lifespan of these bags can be up to 3 years, thus they can be used repeatedly. Rural Cameroonian maize farmers lose over 40% of maize annually due to pest-ridden storage. Now, through Corn House, we are going to be providing these bags to maize farmers, and this is greatly going to help transform their post-harvest reality.
Welcome back from that very, very short break. And before the break, we were talking about Corn House and how he has assisted people that are facing the problems of agriculture, facing the problems of preserving their maize with weevils, the pests, and all the rest. So right now we're going to be talking about the youth in particular, because this is a youth series. This is all about young people, this is about young leaders, this is about climate change, adaptation, mitigation. And still back to you, Rodrigue. And I'd like to ask you, you focused on agriculture, but now we know the youth of our days, youth of nowadays. We like social media.
Yes.
We like content creation. We like dancing on TikTok. We like doing. We like trading. Me for one, like I love trading. I'm a correct trader. Yes. I'm a correct trader. So yes. Are you going to say that? What are you going to say concerning agriculture and those youths out there? In all their minds, all about content creation. Everybody wants to make money. Everybody wants to make money in content creation. Everybody said we should leave content creation and we should focus on agriculture because there's money in agriculture. Or how? Because that particular point when you were saying it, I was like, this man, are you sure? Because the way I'm seeing myself, the way these youths are out there, all our head like that is just fast money. We want fast money. Agriculture takes time. You need to put in effort. You need even aside effort, you need physical power, man labor. We need experience too. So what can you talk? What can you say concerning social media and agriculture? Are you going to advise us to concentrate on agriculture, to drop down our level of content creation and concentrate on agriculture, or what are you going to say? What are you going to tell us?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. You know, going to the farms doesn't stop you from creating content.
So how are you supposed to do that?
You can even create content in the farm.
Really?
Oh yeah, we have people who are creating agricultural content. You know, content creation is just about getting the views.
Yes, that's about
They
it.
create agricultural content and they get a lot of views.
But now content creation also depends on the how should I say, the, how do they call it? The audience. Wow.
Yes.
The audience. What if you've been into social media creation and then your audience are these kind of people that they just want to see you dance or to see you this or that, and then all of a sudden you concentrate into agriculture? It's not going to be a little bit complicated for you to divert into something totally new before start getting. It's difficult to get youth into agriculture.
But let's put it this way. That mentality that is difficult to get used into agriculture is something that I like to strongly dismiss, because first of all, when we talk about making real money, those who make real money are entrepreneurs.
Yes, yeah.
You agree with that, right?
Yeah, I agree with
Okay,
that.
and you know that the entrepreneurial journey is not the one that you just roll into easily. You have to face those challenges. And that is why there is a lot of money in agriculture, because you can't just swim into millions. You have to face those real challenges, overcome them, and then you boom. So it's something that we have to make up our minds. And why do I say this? When we look at those who do a lot of content creation per se, they are maximizing the resources that are around them. If you come to Africa, let's Cameroon, for example, which is Africa in miniature, you see that we have agricultural resources lying there, and we are not maximizing them. And we are diverting our time and resources to other areas that are already saturated per se, and that is not really going to take us to where we want to go. Content creation could be giving you income. I don't know how much that can sustain an average young Cameroonian who wants to build up. But when you look at agriculture, the potential is there. We have the lands, we have the ideas. There are a lot of training programs going around now with regards to agriculture. And I don't even need to go far. There are youths who are getting into agriculture and making the money. I mean, that has to be a clear example. What convincing do you need again? I can send you to research a few young agripreneurs and you see what they are doing. I think it might motivate you to change your mind a little and get into agriculture.
So you're trying to see that we can incorporate agriculture and we can incorporate social media into agriculture.
Oh, yes.
And we're still going to make it out there.
Yes. I think content creation can be part of your life while you do other things. There is a lot of diversification out there today. It's difficult to find someone who does just a single thing.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, you sell, you trade, and here you are. So you're trying to diversify, and maybe you don't see it as stress, but there's stress involved. I mean, I think you're trying to run away just from the physical stress in the farm, but when you even go to smart farming, you notice that the stress is not even there. Talk about greenhouse farming per se. All that tilling of the soil you think about, it's not there. We have hydroponics. It's just technology. And you watch the crops grow. Yeah. So agriculture is really interesting, and I would love that you should really embrace it, because that is where the true riches in Africa lie. Thank you.
Thank you. So youth out there, you get it. Rodrigue is telling us that we should not only concentrate on social media, we can incorporate content creation into agriculture and you will become a billionaire just like him. As I'm here now, I'm already a billionaire in the mind. In my brain, I'm a billionaire. So if you want to be a billionaire, don't just concentrate on content creation. Think of agriculture. Try to put small hard work and effort. You boom. You escalate. Okay. So going back to the finance, you know, everything in this life is finance, right? Everything is finance. It's funding. You cannot survive without money.
Oh yes.
Even aside this climate change and whatever, we need money to live. We need money to survive in this earth. So now, you spoke about writing projects, writing proposal. You came up with your corn house proposal. It was a project, right?
Yes.
You proposed and they agreed to it. That led to you winning that award.
Yes.
Now I want to ask that, I don't know if youths are actually able to assess that, like, how are youths able to access green finance to build sustainable livelihoods? What do you think about that?
Okay. If I get that question correctly, you're asking how are youth accessing green finance?
Yes.
Okay. I think there are a lot of finance opportunities out there from my experience, because I have been trying to apply for a lot, and a lot that just comes to my email, and sometimes
to your email.
Yes, you don't get the time to even write all those projects to apply. And I think there are so many finance opportunities out there. We have innovation challenges that you build up your idea and you go for. We have foundations that do call for proposals and call for applications that youths mostly apply for. The young man I was talking about, Afopezi Moses, he got his seed funding from the MTN Foundation.
MTN?
Yes. MTN had an agri-tech challenge, and
MTN is also into agriculture.
No, they are not into agriculture per se. I think it's part of their corporate social responsibility. So they go out of their way to do this fund. Exactly. I think most organizations have a budget for corporate social responsibility. Yeah.
MTN.
MTN. Yes. Even Camtel. I think Camtel recently had an agri-tech challenge too. And you see these youths, they go up there with their ideas, they pitch, and they get seed funding.
That's interesting. Praise, did you know about that?
Wow. Yes, so I think what we're just describing now is that those finance opportunities are there, but we don't know about them, and that is what has to be worked on.
I'll support that fact, we don't know about them.
Yes, we don't know about them. That's what has to be worked on. Because probably they need to disseminate information better, let this information get to rural areas. Because sometimes these finance opportunities, this call for funding, exists just in the urban centers. Take for example, maybe just those in Yaoundé knew what MTN was doing.
Yes.
Those maybe in Bamenda, in Ebolova, in Marwa, didn't know anything is happening. And that is what has to work on, because I believe there has to be equality when it comes to these funding opportunities.
That's the point.
Yeah.
So what do you think the youth can do to assess this? As you said, some people here only know about that. People in Bamenda don't know. What can you say? I'm thinking that maybe those that have an idea, I don't know if they should spread it how, but what do you think? The other youths don't know about it. How can the information go around?
Okay, I think from my end, what I do personally is when I see some of these opportunities, I share them on my platforms. It could be on WhatsApp status, it could be on Facebook or LinkedIn. But I think from our end, the information dissemination might be a little complicated.
Very complicated.
Yeah, those who have to do more of the work are the organizations themselves. They have to see how these funding opportunities get into the grassroots. They can use councils per se, or even radio announcements. These are means, or even TV adverts. I don't think that is something that went on TV. These are means that if we want this information to reach out to all those concerned, then we should consider using, because most youths, they don't really see these opportunities coming out. It just loiters around a particular circle and also around their benefit from it. So I think that channel is what has to be worked on.
But then you can agree with me that youths are somehow being left out of education finance conversations.
Very much.
We are being left out, and that's not fair.
Very much.
So when you mention now these platforms that are all structured or based out of rural areas, it brings me to one technical question. Do these community finance hubs like cooperatives and everything, have you tried to know whether in your community or in the rural areas, do they also get to sponsor climate-related youth initiatives in agriculture or other sectors? Have you ever gotten time to go into that sector and see if those micro cooperatives and everything also sponsor or fund climate initiatives led by youth?
Okay, I think the system, the way cooperatives work, it's cooperatives, people coming together, let me put it that way. And when they come together, they bring resources. They bring, it can be finance, it can be tools.
For the good of the community.
For the good of the community. And anyone who wants to benefit from that, who is eligible, gets the opportunity. And that brings me back to what Cornhouse is doing even. Now, Cornhouse, we don't own the warehouse we are using. The warehouse we are using is owned by the cooperative. So that's a community resource we are using to give back to the community.
Okay.
And finance, where does finance come from? Is the Ngokitunja Cooperative Credit Union. So we are using community resources to give back to the community. They are basically accessing their own resources. Thank you.
That's perfect.
Perfectly.
So what about other communities that are not being supported by their own communities? How do they do now?
I think for the existing cooperatives, they do a lot to support their communities, because what happens is most of the cooperative members, those who are doing well, come to save.
Yes.
They save in those cooperatives, and then those who need the finance get the finance from there. Cooperatives don't really sponsor, they say, they just provide resources that is available at their level. But when we talk of climate finance, for example, I think if we want to really get real impact, funding agencies should start seeing how finance goes to cooperatives, and that is a channel that is really going to reach the last mile farmers in order for lasting impact. Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Rodrigue, this is quite very important, because we are just not the only one here suffering climate change, and many others out there, youths are watching. And what can you advise them? You just didn't start the corn house like just from a dream.
Yeah.
You had to, it was a process. You had to go through some challenges. You had to face some physical challenges, and I cannot talk about spiritual challenges. But then you had to go through some challenges. Someone out there, a youth as well, can be like, he or she has this dream and he does not know how to go about it. What advice or motivation or encouragement can you tell him or her out there that if you do this, don't give up, don't quit, follow this way or do like this, and then you surely get there someday? What can you say?
Wow, in regards to that question,
Yes,
I think I have a lot to say. Now, youths of today are kind of lazy, but what I can tell them is 2 keywords. You have to be intentional and consistent.
Yeah,
yes. You don't go into something for the first time and you fail and you give up.
You just expect it to just happen like that, like magic.
Season, you just disappear.
Yes.
Try something new.
Let me tell you my experience. I came back from Algeria in February 2024.
Okay.
And I can tell you that from that date, I have been applying for projects, I've been applying for schools, and I've gotten rejections upon rejections. If I wasn't intentional and consistent, I wouldn't be launching Corn House. So it's something the deniers are going to come, and that is part of the process.
Of course.
Youth, I think we have to get out there and embrace opportunities. Networking is something that is very important, because networks are some of those things that can bring you opportunities. Those who know me, when I came back here, if there is any conference going on that is my field, I'm going to attend that conference. Sharp. I would dress to impress and go there. You might see me and think this guy is somebody that is really doing, but I'm just there to meet people who are already established in the various sectors. Connect. You might not be getting your numbers, just follow them on LinkedIn. And one day that person might be someone that will post an opportunity that you're going to apply for and you're going to get that funding. And these are people that can also guide you, because trust me, from my experience, you cannot sit in your home and write a project by yourself and win something.
Never.
You need to get that mentorship.
You need assistance.
Yes, you need assistance. And you cannot get this sitting in your home. You need to be out there trying to build networks. These networks, they say your network or your network is your network.
Yes.
So if you're not out there, we have to be hungry for growth and success. You need to be out there. I attended a lot of conferences and built a lot of networks. You might not see the value at that time, but when things start turning out well, you're going to see how everything is just playing out in your favor. And it's because of the work you've been putting in consistently. It might be 1 year, it might be 2 years, but just be consistent and intentional with what you want to do. You should not be easily swayed away from what you really want to do because of challenges that you're facing. Because they say when those challenges come, you should know that after those challenges, you're going to eat it. Thank you.
So in a nutshell, you is out there having that idea and you're thinking of quitting. You have just heard what Rodrigue said. Don't give up. Challenges will always come. And that is just part of the process. That is just life. You just have to keep trying. You can never try something one day and then you have a rejection and you decide to fold your arms. No. So all these things is just all about consistency. That is actually the key. The key to success is consistency. And I don't know, there's a great man who always says that connection is better than grace. You can have grace, but connection is better.
That's a nice one.
I don't want to say hallelujah. So that is it. So youth out there, think of your future. If you want to be a billionaire like us, I mean, I'm a billionaire. If you want to be a billionaire like me, not like
Put your
us.
hands into agriculture.
Yes, put your hands
and be
into
resilient.
agriculture and be resilient. So praise.
Yeah.
What can you say concerning what you just said?
No, the point here, so I think what he said is very important, and is as youth, we also need to keep pushing. We also need to keep pushing, because in the sector, very true. I'm into agriculture, and I've been about almost 6 years, and once I look at the experience that I've gotten, though I'm more of the touch and leave, when once I'm faced another thing, I still come back, so I'm not consistent, and that's one thing that you have, like, when once you're sharing your insight, your consistency, seems like that's one side on which I'm actually lacking. But there is one other thing again that I was trying to come back to, because even though being in agriculture, you have mentioned corn house, and I think in your method of preserving this corn, you cited plastics.
Yes.
To an extent, I'm looking at the impact on the seeds. Should it be they have to consume, or they have to maybe plant? What do you see? What research? What is the depth of the research that you've done on the impact of microplastic contaminations to the seeds?
Okay, these bags, PICS bags, it stands for Purdue. PICS stands for Purdue Improved Crop Storage. This is an innovation by Purdue University.
Okay,
So there are professors from these universities that developed this bag, and it is completely chemical free. Yes, and it's something that has been tested and proven to
So
be
it's eco-friendly,
good for storage, and it can last for about 2 to 3 years. So when farmers use that, unlike our normal bags that they use and they have to buy another one and buy another one, that makes it eco-friendly because they can use it for a longer period of time before going to buy another one.
I would like to see one of those bags. Maybe I would.
Okay.
Because I also, at some point, I also used to experience this loss in yield with the farm that I used to. Sometimes go around and I'm controlling. So if I get to even see one of those bags, I think it's also going to be a plus for me and my.
Yeah, definitely. These bags are used worldwide. I mean, it's a proven intervention that people are embracing, and it's very funny that it had not reached us here before, but with Corn House, we are happy that the bags are around now and farmers are really going to benefit from it.
Okay, so Rodrigue wants to say again a very, very big thank you for still honoring our invitation and for sharing this so much knowledge. I've learned a lot. There's so many things you said I had no idea. Like, especially when you brought to the point of MTN. Till now, I'm still surprised. I know MTN is just a network.
Jeez, they do a lot.
And that's why you are here, right? We come to talk about our experience, we come to talk about climate change, networking, adaptation, mitigation.
And more research.
Yes, and more research. We come to share knowledge, exchange knowledge. I believe even with these very minor questions we've asked you, you are able to think back on your experiences, things that you might have forgotten, you're able to recall and bring it back to the limelight. So I went through this true. So I want to say thank you again very much for being here with us and for sharing knowledge with us. I, for one, have learned a lot. I've understood more, and I want to say du courage, more courage, more courage for your project, and I believe you'll continue being up there. So thank you everyone for watching with us, and like I said before, we have a surprise at the end. Here we are at the end of the day, so just keep watching and you'll see the surprise. I believe you have learned a lot as well. You have learned that MTN too is into agriculture. You have learned that social media is not all about creation or content creation, but you can incorporate the two. You can work together. social media and agriculture. You can go to the farm and create content.
Yes.
Yes, with your phone. You don't need
With your phone and the traffic.
a very big camera. Yes, with your phone. You can be a billionaire like us. You can be a billionaire. So you out there. And again, one last thing to encourage you again. Don't give up. Don't quit on your idea. Don't quit on your project. There are funders out there that can help you. You just need to get to the right people and you'll get there. Thank you very much. And this is Brittany, your host, assisted by Praise. I hope you loved it and I hope you learned a lot. See you next time. Have a nice time. Thank you.